You know, one of the true beauties of living within the United States, and we celebrate it every 4th of July, is our independence, our freedoms. Speech, religion, press, etc., etc. And really to marvel at how we can drive from, say, out of Washington to Florida or Maine to California without checkpoints or visas or passports. What a beautiful thing. You know something, everyone, in the course of driving, one of the things I do look at is bumper stickers. Okay? So I want to share with you some of the more well-known bumper stickers that we have here in the United States. Okay? Now remember, these are ones that Father can repeat. Okay? Here's one: eat my dust. Do what you love what you do. Rust never sleeps. People who never make mistakes must get tired of doing nothing. And of course, one that really resonates with what we said: proud to be an American. Okay? Now, everyone, I want to share with you a story today that really brings to the core that theme, a bumper sticker. And it's a story about a man who on Sunday at his Methodist church used to buy the donuts at Dunkin' Donuts for the men's Bible study. Okay? So this particular Sunday, he drives to the drive-thru, orders the donuts, and here's a young woman, everyone, not married, 6 months pregnant, and what does she do? She brings the donuts. It's the wrong order. So he grumbles and mumbles and says things to her that cause her pain. As a matter of fact, she starts to, her lips quiver, tears come from her eyes, everyone, and he can tell he's hurt her. And as he drives away, he hopes that she does not see his bumper sticker, which reads this: "Follow me to Destin United Methodist Church." Okay? So he gets to Destin United Methodist Church. He has these donuts now and shares them with the men, and he shares his story. And he says, you know something? I was wrong. You know, and the power of penance, repentance, it's one thing to feel that way. It's another to do it. So he said, here's what I'm going to do next week. I encourage you to do the same. Not telling you you have to, but encourage the rest of the men in the Bible study to do this. Next week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the drive-thru and I'm going to present her a gift, a baby gift. And I encourage you to do the same. The next Sunday, 46 cars, 46 lined up and presented her baby shower gifts. Unwed, 6 months pregnant, the only baby shower she would have. And this time the tears, everyone, aren't tears of sadness, they're tears of joy. And once you know it, the last vehicle that drives through the drive-thru has on the bumper, "Follow me to Destin Methodist Church, United Methodist Church." And so she does. And she says this: I don't know what a Methodist is. I don't care. All I know is this: when I was in need, they were there. And what they have, I want to have. People, last week we wrapped up John 6, final passage. And what did we talk about, everyone? Jesus says, eat my body, drink my blood. We come here. We talked about what we do here. And the word mass, I told you last week, means go. That what we receive, everyone, doesn't stay here. We go into the world and we give it. And I think the story I just shared with you is a beautiful example of that. That what we do here goes with us into the world. So go, everyone, and give people the gift of Jesus. And with that, everyone, we go from John back to Mark's gospel. Okay? Now, it's kind of a complicated gospel, but I think I can make it pretty easy for us to understand, because we're kind of intertwining in this gospel two different things. But the first thing we have to understand is this. Remember last week in the gospel, the people were murmuring, and even some of the religious leaders, Jesus says, eat my body, drink my blood. Well, it picks up today. The geography is important today, because it says some scribes and Pharisees see Jesus in Jerusalem, and they come from from Jerusalem and they go to Galilee. Now everyone, you may not know this, but to go from Jerusalem to Galilee, you would have to walk for 4 days. 4 days. So obviously in this walk, these Pharisees and scribes have something on their mind, and Jesus doesn't disappoint them. If you would open up the Mosaic Law, indeed in there it says that a Jewish person is not to eat certain things. Pork is one that we're well knowing. Here's another one. A Jew is not to eat shellfish. Right in there. Mosaic Law. And so what does Jesus do? He says this. It isn't what comes from without that defiles, it's from within. And in one broad swipe, Jesus says this in the Mosaic Law. You simply take that law and you put a line through it. It no longer is pertinent. And look at us. It's true. Here we are as Christians. Can we eat pork? Yes. Can we eat shellfish? Yes. There it goes. Crossed out. Now imagine the ire of the Pharisees and scribes. But it doesn't end there. The biggest discussion today is, of all things, it's washing hands. And people, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Mary, tomorrow we start school, and you know that on Thursday when I come in, usually you're the class that leads into lunch, first grade. And you and I, every year, we always marvel at when we dismiss them, how quick the boys come back. Right? You got to wonder if they're really washing their hands. Okay? I figured it out, though, Mary, what we're going to do. Scented soap. Scented soap. That way, when they come back, we can say, let me see your hands, and I'm going to smell them. And we're going to figure it out. Ron, scented soap, boys' bathroom, downstairs. Got it? All right. Washing hands. Okay? It's a good thing. But here's the trick. Here's the trick to it, everyone. If you actually opened up the Mosaic Law, it never mentioned it. You see, it was simply this. It was a tradition of the Pharisees. It's a tradition. And the Pharisees went so far as to say if you didn't wash your hands, you were a sinner. It's a tradition. We have a lot of them. I'm going to share some with you today. Okay? Is it good to wash our hands today yet? Yes. But is it a law? If it is, point it out. It's a tradition. Okay? Many people's households, it is a custom to put up a Christmas tree. Family gathers around, lights, ornaments, garlands put on. Sometimes songs are sung, Bible verses are read, and on top everyone goes the angel and the star. Here's the question, is it a law that you have to put up a Christmas tree? I don't see it. It's a tradition. Here's another one. Every September 11th, which is coming up, I always hear on the radio, everyone, it marvels me how on September 11th, people driving just tend to be more patient that day. They're more respectful. Just in memory of what happened in New York City. Here's my question, though. Is there some place in a law that says when I'm driving on September 11th, I have to be more patient? I don't think so. It's a tradition. Traditions are good. But here's where Jesus leads. Listen carefully. What good does it do you if you do this faithfully, but if God can look in your heart and all he sees is filth? What good does it do for you, everyone, to put all of that into a Christmas tree when really, everyone, in a person's house there is no Christ? There's no church, there's no faith, there's no prayer. What good really does it do for you to be kind driving on September 11th? And if I followed you the other 364 days of the year, and you are the most impatient driver I have ever seen, you're awful. People, traditions are that. They're traditions. But the question that Jesus asks you is this: where do they lead us? And I think that's where Jesus is so critical of the Pharisees and scribes. You know, their customs are good, their traditions are good. Largely, these are all good things. But Jesus could look into their heart, and the thing that he noticed, everyone, is the distance from lips to hearts for the Pharisees and scribes was a long ways. A long ways. So in closing today, there are really 3 questions for you to take with you this week. Here they are. I'll repeat them twice. Number 1, what do you do? Number 2, why do you do it? And number 3, where does it take you? What do you do? Why do you do it? And where does it take you? If any of those 3 don't lead to Christ, we are missing something. Missing something. And that's what Jesus wants to give you in the gospel of today. So people, take those questions with you, and whatever you do this week, think about it. Think about those things, and let them lead you to Jesus. Okay? Let's celebrate that once again as we gather today in the presence of Jesus Christ.